Did you know that the world's third most important food crop is the potato? The James Hutton Institute in Invergowrie, Dundee are custodians of an incredibly special collection of wild and domesticated potato species called the Commonwealth Potato Collection. This collection holds the key to adapting modern potato varieties to changing climates and disease threats. Here in this glasshouse, we are growing a portion of the collection to maintain it. The collection is a biological representation of the journey through South America, the home of the potato, and its varied habitats from the coast of the Atlantic to the hills of the Andes. The potato plants come from deserts, mountains, wet and dry places. We monitor and record data about the plants regularly, using a web-based platform called GridScore that was developed at the Hutton. At flowering, we randomly share pollen between flowers of the same plant species. We do this by harvesting pollen using an artificial bee and reapplying it to all open flowers. Berries that look a bit like unripe tomatoes are then produced by the plant. We would like to collect 5 or more berries per plant. This usually requires repeated pollination attempts, once or twice a week for several weeks. We tag and support the berries inside paper bags to prevent them falling off. Once fully grown, we pick the berries and take out the seeds. We then dry them on paper. Once placed in a paper packet, they are dried further in the drying room. These seeds are then carefully stored for many decades within the National Seed Store. This collection is available to researchers, breeders and educators to use. It provides a priceless genetic resource that helps us make improvements to commercial potato crops, including combating disease. The Hutton and the University of Dundee have a long-standing partnership with the School of Life Sciences plant scientists based at the Institute. Some scientists are studying the potato disease late blight. It is a destructive disease that can infect and destroy a field of potatoes within a few days. Each wild species of potato grown is different from the other. You can see that there are differences between their leaves and flowers. Over the years, the different species have been studied to see if they have resistance to infection by late blight. Some species have been found to be resistant and are kept for further genetic studies. This year, our plant scientists are studying the newly grown potato plants in the collection. We use a separate glasshouse to infect the potato plants with blight. This is to keep the highly contagious blight infection away from the healthy potato plants. We infect the plants by adding droplets containing the blight to the leaves. We either add them to individual leaves placed in containers or to leaves still attached to the plant. Within a few days, we start to see effects. Here you can see leaves infected and thus vulnerable to the disease, and others that can fight off the disease and remain infection-free. Once we have identified a particular potato species with resistance, we study that plant in the laboratory to understand why it is resistant and use that information to improve our potato crops. We then transfer the resistance from the wild species to modern new varieties through state-of-the-art breeding. Large breeding populations are grown in our seedling glasshouses. We will select those with the best qualities, including yield and disease resistance. If it passes this testing, the new potato may eventually be grown by farmers and be available for you to eat.